What can an underprivileged nation, government, or in this case, I speak to the people, so we're talking about individuals and persons and human beings. What can a person do that's underprivileged, that may have been born into somewhat of a poverty-stricken government or a poverty-stricken county or a poverty-stricken situation in general, whether it's a poverty-stricken family or whatever it is? What can a person like that do to, like, where can they start to begin to learn how to free themselves? It's always either the radical teacher, such as myself, that seems to always struggle, that seems to just always get locked up, or seems to just always become a bum or become homeless or staying in trouble. Or then you got the other teacher, you know, that's has a more of an attractive life, that has problems with women and constantly staying in scandals over money and misuse of resources and things of this nature. And I'm pointing all of this out because I'm trying to get you to question yourself, and, you know, and to question society. Is to ask yourself, what are we going to do? Like, where is a person to start? How are we going to clean this up? You might say, what do you mean, what are we going to do? I got a job. I'm good. I'm just watching this for entertainment. And you don't realize that the sovereign, it's like a game of chess. And the sovereign runs everything. And the sovereign takes all of the risks. The sovereign has to deal with all of the consequences as well. Because for all of the knowledge that you have in your head, there's a consequence. And when you don't use the knowledge in your head, there's a consequence. But there's also a consequence for those people that decide not to gain knowledge, and that decide to allow people to take care of them. Because we are being taken care of right now by the government. This is why government exists. Because there's two governments, which I'll talk about in a second. But we're being taken care of by the fictitious government, which is based on corporations. Because when we incarnated here, we signed a contract to live in this body, and there's certain rules that we must abide by to live in this body. However, we violated the contract. This is what they're talking about in the Garden of Eden. It's dealing with a political contract, actually, that's based on spirituality and the merging of spirituality into the human body, and how you were supposed to use your human body as a vessel and as a commodity to gain resources, to get money. Real money. There's a difference between money and fiat notes. Give you an example. This is a fiat note. It has a letter D on it, which is the Federal Reserve in Cleveland. Is represented by a letter, which is the letter D. I'll talk about that another time. However, where I'm getting at is that this represents, these notes with these letters and all of this stuff on it and pictures and all, this is debt. This is not money. And I want to point that out. This is not money. It's fiat. It can be used to gain money. It can be used as a loan to get money. But it is not money. And that's the problem. Until you get out of that, you'll never be able to advance to the next level. And you may say, well, what do you have, Ram Hotep? You look like, I mean, you know, you just was talking about how you're struggling. What have you done? And I'll tell a person like this, starting out, let's just say this, I've made this month over $24,000. I'll just say that. And you, I mean, whether that's a lot of money to you or whether that's, you know, a little bit of money to you doesn't really matter. The bottom line is that I secured this credit with my own, by controlling my straw man. Nobody gave me this money. I didn't go work a job to gain this credit. Excuse me, not money. I didn't go work a job to gain this credit or anything of that nature. I had to use my straw man to secure this, and I also have to use my straw man as a ship and a vessel to finance, to take this $24,000, okay, and finance something with it, so that I can eventually make this into maybe $250,000 or whatever I'm trying to gain. But I'm saying all that to say, so that's what I've gained. However, there's a consequence For all knowledge, there's a consequence. So I'll give you another example about my life. Though I've gained that, you saw me do the last video, and I was dropping knowledge on the queen and how the woman can function in society. And the knowledge was so real that I guess the enemy on the spiritual plane, or the devil, if you want to call him that, which I'll explain that in other videos, exactly what the devil means on a spiritual sovereignty level, decided to attack me, and one of my family members passed away. One of the head matriarchs, one of the queens of the family passed away right after I dropped the video talking about this stuff. There's a consequence, ladies and gentlemen, to gaining, whether it's money or whatever. And there's a consequence to allowing opportunities to go another way, or allowing opportunity to float away. Meaning that you just work a job. You never take the risk to take back control of your straw man, even though that's what was given to you. Your name was given to you by God, actually, which is your parents. God gave you your name through your parents. The Most High gave you your name through your parents as a resource for you to gain and do something with. But you have to let go of everything. So the first step that you would have to take, if you really was true about this, is that you would have to let go of everything. That's right, everything. Meaning that I don't care what it is. You release everything that has a contract to it. A negative contract, meaning that it's not yours. Some kind of way, you may say, well, my car is mine, but I got a car note. No, that's a contract. Anything that you don't own, go ahead and let it go. That's the first step. If you can't outright say that you own it, you should let it go. That's the first step. And then the second step, once you let everything go, is that you want to begin to you want to begin to finance yourself in the matrix based upon being a living soul. Now, you are not a corporation anymore. See, what happened is that when you were born, you signed a contract to become a corporation at some point, to give up your freedom. When you were born, you signed a contract as a living soul to live in this body, right? And to manage this body and to cultivate this body so that it would eventually become a light being. And I'll talk about that in other videos. I'm talking about on an economic level. You're supposed to become a light being. You're not supposed to be limited to credit cards, fiat notes, and things of that nature. You're supposed to be able to buy something actually with your vision. And I'll explain that in future videos. I'm going to do a video on your vision. Your vision is actually the money that the Most High gave you, believe it or not, your eyes. If you notice, when you look at the term money, you see the word I in it, of course, like E-Y-E, I. You see that in it, of course, but you don't have two E's, but I'm saying you can pull and extract two letters out of the word money and see the word I. There's a reason for that, because actually the money is in your eyes. The Egyptians had a form of currency to where they could buy something or visa a person through their vision, through their eyes. But before you can get into all this, your body is a resource, and you can attract billions of dollars, not millions, from the sweat and the blood of your body and the different chemicals that your body produces, semen and things of that nature, yeast. You could attract billions of dollars, but you sold your soul, you see, at some point to the corporation, because you decided to go what? Get an ID, identification card. And I'm going to stop there because I don't want to make these videos long. So you got to release. It's a lot you have to do. I mean, I teach private classes. However, many people just give me donations. I thank you guys too for the donations that you've been giving me to just keep dropping videos, because I'm going to drop everything that I teach in a private class, probably publicly anyway. You could piece it together and do this plan and make you some money. So that's the goal. So you got to take back what's yours. There's a lot to do. My time is limited. I thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'm going to come back up with part 2. Hotep.